We're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. Hi, welcome to the Wingmen Show. My name is Drew Brown. We hope to inspire, entertain, and learn something so we can all make this world a better place for our children. I'd like to introduce to you somebody who's my friend, my wingman, my main man, and I have a wingman watching my back, Dr. Paul Thompson. Hey, Paul, what's happening?
Oh, not much. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Thompson, and you just heard from Mr. Drew Brown, Dark Gable. He's the American dream. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the pilot's pilot, the role model's role model, and most importantly, his royal fullness. How are you doing today, Mr. Dark Gable?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad I'm full of knowledge, Paul. I'm glad I'm full of knowledge. Well, we're going to have a great show right now. Check this out. Dr. Paul, what's up, my brother?
I'm up today. I've had a good day. I got up. I did a mini workout. I always have to do a little workout before we record to get myself kind of pumped up. Good, hard 25-minute.
How'd you feel?
Orientation. Feel good. Nothing heavy. Just, lightweight stuff.
Good.
Push-ups, squats, jumping jacks. So.
Well, today I did my meditation in the morning. Today's a day of rest for me, my little Sabbath for working out. And I just hung out with Chelsea Jackson Roberts from Peloton. And I got a new boy I wanted to tell you about. His name is JJ. He's from England. And Katrina just loves him because he talks so cute because he has that real deep English accent. And it is kind of fun. Yes.
This is a Peloton person?
Peloton instructor. Yes. He does body weights and light weights. So that's what I did. I did my meditation and my Shotgi mat. And I got to tell you, that Shotgi mat is helping my back tremendously. So I'm not sure. Dr. Brown tells me to do something, I do it. Did you go to Costco this week?
I did. Well, I went to it online. There's something I needed. I need another chair. The chair I'm in now, office chair, is great. But I got two other computers. I got a great chair on one of them, but I got a terrible one on the other. And I just couldn't take it anymore. It's okay if you're about 3 years old. So I couldn't get it in the store, but I did order it off Costco online. It's supposed to come this afternoon. It's going to be
very
a major
good
improvement.
Way to go. I love my Costco. Hey, guess what? I got a Starlink update. It finally came. We plugged it in. It was fire. It was so powerful. It was great. About 130 and was on the speed test, which was high. It started raining the next day and it went down to 10.
Okay.
And I can't deal with that. So we're going to box up the Starlink, send it back or do something. But we went back to our old Wi-Fi. But guess what? My neighbor, who's the bomb, got me a 5G box from his very good friend. So I'm pretty much on fire now anyway. So my Wi-Fi for right now is up to date.
Yeah, you look much better now. Looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Looks great.
Nice compliment. I thought it was my diet. But anyway, how about this? The war. Let me get this out, Paul. I'm telling you something. For the first time ever, I started getting hood on Putin. And because I was in the military, we trained, we think we're badasses. Well, you know what? We are badasses. And I almost wanted to tell him, come on, punk, throw something. If you throw anything, it's the last time you ever even have a dream. You and anything Russian around you is gone. Throw it, bitch. I'm sorry. I can't stand this killing. That's how I felt. The hood came out.
Well, I mean, you could just talk with so much because I think the latest thing is if anyone assists those who are, it's anyone who assists those who are interfering. If you interfere with Russia's affairs at all in helping our enemies, you're in trouble. Well, they're already doing it. So what are you talking about?
They're doing it. Do you remember that scene in Tombstone in the bar when my boy Kurt Russell had that dude and just like punked him out and said, come on, pull that thing, skin that cat. It was one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen. Tombstone's my favorite Western movie. First of all, anybody listening to us, If you give us a review on Apple Podcasts, we'd really appreciate it. We are on YouTube because we video this, so we have pictures during the show, and we really appreciate all the new listeners and old listeners, don't we, Dr. Paul?
Yes, we do. Please help us out. Like, share, and subscribe. Pass it on to your friends and people that might be inspired by something nice that they hear for a change, instead of just negative things in the news that bash our heads in on a daily basis.
Yeah, we're bringing it to the people. Be happy, have fun, be safe, be nice, all them things. It's so simple, but yet so true, and it brings you happiness. So here's the deal. Let me give you a little Tampa update. I went to Tampa to see Drew Brown the Fifth.
The Fifth?
Yes, so I was with the fourth and the fifth. So the third, fourth, and fifth were all together. I had a wonderful time. I'm going to bring little baby Drew up a little bit later in the show because something happened that he's incredible. He's like medicine to my soul. So that, and next week I'm going to New Orleans to see my granddaughter, but it's also Jazz Fest. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to go see Jazz Fest. And I want to see this group called Dumpster Funk. They're a New Orleans group, and they're going to be playing the Tipitinas during Jazz Fest. I know they have a couple of songs that I think are so great. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'll bring back some news from New Orleans Jazz Fest.
Is that a big thing? Is it at the Superdome or some other venue?
Oh, no, it's a big jazz festival. It's like, remember Memphis in May?
Yeah.
It's like that, except everything barbecue. There are stages everywhere. So
okay,
Trombone Shorty to The Who is going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there.
Okay.
From rappers to country music, from jazz, preservation jazz, New Orleans Jazz Festival is something to see. It is wonderful. Be honest with you, I've done Mardi Gras a lot. I went to school in New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I went to school there. I've done Mardi Gras there. I've done Jazz Fest there. And you can only do it so many times. For me, I'm not really into being around all those people and crowds and waiting to go to the bathroom and all that anymore. I mean, I've done it. I got the check in the box. I'd rather be with my granddaughter. So that's me. Who would believe I'd be talking like this? Boy.
That's right.
God is the bomb. All right. So here's some news for any of these people still killing themselves with cigarettes. On my 11 Facts in Life, I have nicotine is the epitome of addiction, because you don't even get high from cigarettes. After a while, if you get addicted to nicotine, which I was, so that's why I'm saying it, it was the hardest thing I've ever done to kick that. That was a very hard habit. I had no idea the power of nicotine. It took gum, it took patches, but it took willpower. Coughing and everything just didn't make it. But I'll tell you what, God bless it. My point being, there's not going to be any more menthol. They're going to ban menthol. 89% of Black people are the users of menthol cigarettes.
Yeah, I read about that. The smoke. I've never smoked anything. I'm actually allergic to smoke, and I have been from being a child. Actually, I just was in environments I was just forced to endure it, like a torture. And I did that a number of times. That menthol cigarettes, if you think about it, when you go to a lot of Black neighborhoods, there's always like a billboard somewhere, some big billboard, and they're outside, usually a man and a woman, sometimes not, but usually there is. But you would see that stuff in certain neighborhoods and not in others. Now you might see them, but you won't see the. You're
talking about Newport. You're talking about Cool. You're talking about Salem.
Yeah. A lot of Cools. Cools comes in my mind, and a lot. All across the country.
Okay, when I was young in Harlem, I grew up with people who used heroin, what people call junkies, but they were everyday, people. I mean, that's who those were the older kids actually, but I remember them always smoking Cools, but opening them from the bottom. Listen how ironic this is. Yes, they'd open them from the bottom because they didn't want to touch the filters because it went in their mouth, and they didn't want to. They're sharing needles, yet they didn't want to touch the filters of the cigarettes that they smoke because it touched their mouth, dog. I don't roll like that. So I remember them packing it. They'd be pop, 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 pop. Lord have mercy.
So
Anyway,
they're drug addicts who were really sanitary in some ways.
yeah, except that black men have the highest rate of lung cancer.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I saw how that came about, and it was basically kind of ethnic target marketing they did in the 60s. And they did it with a group of people from Chicago. And they looked at them and they looked at their lives and they looked at psychological triggers. And they developed two different approaches. One was for the broader society was the Marlboro Man, which did well across the country. And in black neighborhoods, they used the cools because the aspect of being cool was a big part of black culture. So they seized on that and marketed directly to people who wanted to feel good about themselves being themselves. So they're very creative about it.
What they did is they started you off with a very addictive drug. And after that, it didn't matter what they put on those billboards. Like, I hate to say this, they've banned menthol. Do you think menthols are going to be stopped being sold? I was in Harlem not too long ago, but instead of the brothers selling drugs on the corners, they were whispering, got them Newports, man, got them Newports. Because in New York, I think packs are like $11, $12. It's something ridiculous with the tax. So the black market is now Newports. Does that mean that the Asians, because Asians have a very high rate of smoking, as we have traveled the world with FedEx and the United States Navy, we have seen that. Asians and Italians, a lot of Europeans smoke a lot.
Yeah, they've cut down smoking in Europe. But one thing I remember, it was after that big tobacco settlement some years ago, a multi-billion-dollar deal. That was in the 90s. I was still in Memphis. And I met a tobacco lawyer at some social function. And the day before, they had this big landmark decision. I asked him, is that going to affect your business? Without missing a beat, he said, no, not at all. We're just going to sell more in Asia. Wow. He said, just without a beat. And I remember doing charters to Asia with cigarettes, DC-10 full of cigarettes, three times a week. Yeah.
Talking about drugs, talking about what should be illegal. Anyway, next one is, how about your corona? The Vice President, Kamala Harris, has been infected. She said she's not sick. The coronavirus is back. I don't see anybody wearing masks. I'm confused as hell. I told you last week, I got my second booster. I believe you got your second booster. My wife and her mother got their second boosters. So I'm boosted up. I'm confused up. Denmark has stopped giving vaccinations, Dr. Paul. Denmark has stopped. No more vaccinations in Denmark. Moderna has now come up with a vaccine for kids under 6, which I believe the future holds, that kids are going to have a flu shot, and they're going to have certain immunizations in order to attend school, like they do now. Correct. What do you think, Dr. Paul?
For the Denmark, what I read was, they stopped it for now, but they plan on bringing it back in the fall. Their thought was because their vaccination rates are very, very high, they could actually stop it now, but they anticipated going up in a few months. So there. As far as the kids go, it's probably going to be a standard thing. I think it'll be like that MMR shot, measles, mumps, rubella you get when you're born. There'll be some little small dose going there.
People are going to be kicking and screaming, but everybody who didn't get a shot everybody's going to eventually have a shot. And even people who swore they wouldn't will get the shot, because hopefully they pick life over death, or there's something that makes them change their mind. I hope. God bless them. Now, you see the picture behind me, Dr. Paul?
Yeah, it's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, it's a beautiful dog. That's my Mickey Mantle Brown. That's my baby. He's the last of the family of dogs that we had. We still have 3 Great Danes, Bentley, Bella, and Moishi. But Mickey passed away. And Mickey was 10 years old, going to be 10. He is a Great Dane, and a Great Dane that lives that old is basically 119, like a woman who just died in Japan, the oldest woman in the world. But 10 years old is a long time. But what I was going to say was, we talked last week about death and how you handle death. And I'll give you some pure examples how it just happened. First of all, I cried my ass off. I mean, emotionally cried and yelled and screamed, whatever I had to do. I was with him when they put him to sleep. I took him. He knew it. It was peaceful. It was, but when I got by myself, I cried. And I'll tell you what, it makes you feel good to show your emotions. It makes you feel good to cry afterwards. I know I can't keep all that sadness inside. I just couldn't. Anyway, I did that. And then I thought of some of the things that we talked about. And one of the ones that really got me was that Mickey loved me. I mean, I was really his master. And he would hate to see me cry like that and hate to see me hurt that way. I know that for sure. So that helped me. But remember, I was telling you about little Drew, a baby Drew. So during this really sad time of mine, because I get it over with, I'm done. I got to be done with it. I can't hold on to this. Right. So during that time, anyway, my son called me and I told him about it. And he said, hold on. And I'm ready to even just let it out more with him. And Dr. Paul, he put baby Drew on FaceTime. And baby Drew started laughing at me, with me, because we did that when I was there last week. And he was laughing. And Paul, I could not feel the emotion, sadness. It was nowhere to be found. I tried. Matter of fact, it was so weird. And I was so happy with that little boy that I was like, let's try to be sad with Mickey again. And I could not find that emotion. That's how joy overtook. So that's what baby Drew did for me. And I just wanted to tell you what happened to Mickey. And I know you knew Mickey. And it was hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard losing a pet. It's really hard, especially as one that's been around that long. And you want him to get better, but I had the same experience, some time ago, and you kind of know when the end came. Spot X, it came rather quickly, just really in a couple of days, and he lived a long time. He was almost 16, and a big dog. And a big dog. He's just almost 16.
Well, I had a friend. I mean, I don't think time matters because my beau, he only lived 5 years. And he's a memory in my life that just will always be there. But anyway,
the Memphis beau?
Yes, Memphis beau.
Just 5 years. I thought.
No. I had another beau. I keep naming them the same name, so I forget the first one. No, anyway, one of my friends here had a horse who died after 22 years, and to be with an animal that long they give unconditional love. You know what my joke is, right? I put my wife and my dog in the trunk of my car and I locked them in there for 2 hours. When I opened up the trunk, only my dog was happy to see me.
Right.
But they truly can give you love that just can't be. It's just amazing. Anyway, I passed that. But that brings me to my surprise that I was going to talk to you about. And the Rolling Stones had a song called I Can't Get No Satisfaction. I can't get no sad. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember very well.
Okay, let's think about this. When's the last time you've been satisfied? And what is satisfaction? And is satisfaction serenity? Is it peace? Or do we always keep, I named my daughter actually a little nickname, Miss Wantmore. And Miss Wantmore, it's a funny name, but the truth is that there's no satisfaction in what you have. And and we're all like that. I'm like that too. You're looking for the next one, the best, the next, and another, instead of sitting back and being satisfied. When I played basketball, when I hit a shot, I wasn't satisfied. That's where I threw it up. That was my mentality. What's satisfaction? Is it winning the game, winning the state, winning the country? What's satisfaction? Or does satisfaction come from doing something you love? Because I'm satisfied with you and I doing the show. It takes a little while to understand what satisfaction really is. And it's more than gratitude. It's instant. Like when you wrote your book or you're thinking about writing another book now. Once you write that book and you complete it, there's got to be a feeling of satisfaction.
Yeah, that's what I always felt, when I complete an assignment, particularly something that's difficult, whatever. It could be a plumbing project or something with the car. When it's done and it's done right, you've completed something. For me, it's completion. It's funny, it's satisfaction. I got the song playing in my head now that you brought it up.
That was some song. You know what? You know, if you listen to the words, one of the lyrics in there, I was doing this and I was trying that and I was trying to get some girl pregnant. Baby, baby, come back maybe next week. Because you see, I'm on a losing streak. I can't get no. And that was so controversial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, during the song back then, they beep.
Oh yeah, that was going all the time. You didn't hear much, but it was a beep. It was a surprise because there weren't many, blue lyrics as they call them.
That's correct.
But every once in a while there'd be a couple, or something. Certain stations would play certain records, other things you wouldn't hear.
How about the new surprise little piece of news? Remember Boris Becker?
Yeah.
The tennis player.
Yeah, German tennis player.
Yeah, I figured I read that this morning. He's in jail for 2.5 years for embezzlement of millions of dollars in London. Boris Becker, sentenced to 2.5 years.
Boris Becker, what did he do? Embezzlement? Was he
was hiding his assets.
Investors?
Hiding his assets.
Not paying
taxes. Yeah.
Okay.
Period. That's how they got Al Capone.
That's right.
That's how they might get somebody else we know. Let's pass on that. And Elon bought Twitter.
Yeah. But did he buy it himself? He just put the financing together. I don't think he did 100% himself.
He put the financing together?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he did it personally. But I guess he's the face of it now. I think he fired the board.
What Elon says Twitter does, that's basically owning it.
Because he's going to take it private, so he gets to run it.
Let's tell the people what we did, because we're not playing when we talk about financial freedom and when we talk about people investing. Dr. Paul and I, during one of our meetings, we were reading about how Ford, the new Ford F-150 electric truck, is so popular. They're not even taking orders anymore. You can't even get it on the wait list. So Dr. Paul and I made a decision to buy 100 shares of Ford, and we bought them. And so we're going to keep that up with the show. We bought them at $14.69. Now, so happens to be, yesterday was probably the worst day on Wall Street ever for a very long time. It really was a bad day, they say. And remember what I said, Dr. Paul? I don't look at what I have during bad days. You can keep that sadness to yourself. Anyway, it went down, but because of the show, we went and looked at the Ford, and it went down to $14.20. So we basically lost 49 cents a share, but we bought it for the future. Talk to him, Doc.
We bought it on the come up. The popularity of the F-150, and also the popularity of the new Mustang coming out. That's also sold out. I don't think they're taking orders for those.
Baby, it's going to rise.
Right.
We're going to make money on the show with the people.
I would expect if it's the F-150, I would expect an Expedition to come out next, the Ford Expedition, which I have one. I still like it. It's a great car. It's an old car, but it's a great car. If they do that for the Expedition, because the Expedition is basically an F-150 anyway. May be the thing to do. I thought everything was Tesla, but other folks are doing things on the QT.
Oh, solar is going to be the way. It just is. It's the next evolution. Electricity is the next evolution because we cannot rely on the energy sources we have now. And you see what's happening because of that. There's only so much oil. Tower Power said there's only so much oil in the ground.
Right.
And one day there won't be none around. How about this? You said electric. How about some Top Gun reality? Are they going to have some electric jet? Because that's Star Trek kind of stuff now. Now we're going internal power like that and not the need for gas. But talking about Top Gun and our experiences, there was something I've always wanted to say, that I don't want people to think that Top Gun, all those scenes are real. And it bothers people like Paul and myself and hundreds and thousands of other naval aviators. When that guy was coming aboard that ship, flipping and flopping and flinking and flooping and flooping and flipping, and they said, "Come on, man, you can do it." First of all, they would have waved him off as he made the turn towards the ship. And if he didn't wave off, they'd have shot his ass down.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say wave off, I mean go around. Again, people
Correct. In other words, leave.
You're talking about the original Top Gun movie because there's another one coming out in a few weeks. So we're talking. I haven't
Tom
seen
Cruise
it
again.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one. So we're talking about the original Top Gun filmed came out in 1986.
Unless I was at Denzel's house and we saw the new one. You know what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, if you were in Shanghai, they probably had it out for like the last year.
If I was in Shanghai, I'd be behind those green fences. Behind those green fences.
Watching it, trying to get some food. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what do you think about the NBA?
I saw Memphis won last night. Memphis beat the Minnesota Timberwolves for round one.
Well, both of us lived in Memphis.
Yeah. Now the Atlanta Hawks were defeated by Miami. So they're out of it. You know, Miami's a good team. Atlanta did so. They did a lot.
They shut Trey down.
They did shut
him down.
Yeah, he needs more help. A lot more help, actually. So
that Luka Donka is boning him. But who's the man of the dang series? Ja Morant.
Ja Morant, yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. He is really something to see.
Yeah, I got to look. What college did he go to? Do you know offhand?
Yes, I'm. God dang it!
It was in Virginia.
It was a small college
was it Virginia Union?
No. It was a small college. And if you're watching YouTube, I will put the college name up right now.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure. It was a small school. I used to know the name of the school, but he came from a very small school. The guy who recruited him wasn't looking for him. He was looking for another guy. Went to the wrong gym, and it was a secondary gym. The big gym where this recruiter went, he couldn't get in the big gym. It was packed for the guy he was looking for. So there was a little secondary gym that they were playing games in also. He went there, and that's where he saw Ja Morant. How about that?
Wow.
And this guy's blowing up the league.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, I forgot to tease our wingman. And our wingman is an aquanaut, or has been called an aquanaut, which is incredible because I don't even know what an aquanaut is.
Okay.
But Dr. Paul, would you do us the favor of giving this incredible story of our next wingman?
This wingman is out of this world because this wingman right now is in orbit. Her name is Jessica Watkins. She's on the International Space Station, launched a few days ago on a 6-month mission. They're making a big deal about it because it says she's the, first Black female on the International Space Station. And not in space, but for at least for a 6-month period. It's a long mission. And they're going to be studying, space effects on the body, where they kind of use themselves as guinea pigs for different things. And they have to do maintenance, and there'll probably be some spacewalks. But she's an interesting story. She's a young person. She's 33 years old. I consider that a young person now. It's less than half my age. And she got her start. She's from Maryland, grew up in Colorado. She got a degree in geology at Stanford, and then later got a PhD at UCLA.
Wow.
And if you look at her history, she's got more accolades. If I start reading the accolades and awards now, we'd take about a half hour, but she's been getting from a young person, and apparently started as an intern of sorts. Maybe that's not the precise language, at NASA when she was very young. So she's worked on lots and lots and lots of projects. She's worked on the Mars project. She's worked on ways of, preventing, what would you call it? Earth collapses on Earth and Mars, landslides. See if that's been done. She's done so many things, worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, and just seemed to go up and up and up. And also was a major athlete because when she was at Stanford, she was a serious rugby player and was on the Division I women's national team, winning the rugby championship in the early 2000, 2008 or 10.
And rugby's no joke.
No, rugby's here.
No joke.
Football without pads. So she's, obviously a serious, world-class athlete. And then when I guess we were studying at Caltech, California Institute of Technology, she was the manager for the women's basketball team. So I guess she knows something about basketball. She's also part of the Artemis mission. Artemis, Artemis. What was Artemis? I think it's a Greek god of something or other. In any case, Artemis is the plan to return humans to the moon, which they expect to be about in the year 2025, which is 2.5 years from now. Don't know if she'll be on it. It's supposed to be the first woman and the first person of color, they say. Although, in my opinion, everybody has color. That's another discussion. She's likely to be one of them. So that's what she's doing. So when I say she's out of this world, she's in orbit right now, and the moon is farther. So I said she'll be farther out of the Earth if she goes to the moon. If you look at the NASA astronauts, I looked at them a couple of days ago, the backgrounds of them, and there were a lot of very interesting people. For the pilot group, most people tend to be test pilots. That's been the history of NASA from the very beginning. Someone's been a test pilot either for the Navy or the Air Force. They've gone to some upper level academic institution, and then they've joined NASA. Joined NASA. They were selected for NASA. It's highly competitive, but their backgrounds, male and female, very similar between the Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps. That's most of them, and there are a lot of mission specialists who are civilians. And Jessica Watkins is one of those. But she was on that trajectory, obviously, from basically the time she was a college student. And that aquanaut is someone that's been kind of underwater for 24 hours. And it's usually in a kind of a protected environment, like a little research lab or something like that, just sitting on the bottom of the ocean. And I think she did something in the Florida Keys or off Florida, doing some kind of research. So she qualifies as an aquanaut. A number of astronauts have done it, apparently not a whole lot. You asked me if she's like a Navy SEAL. I think some of them do that in some of their training, depending on what they're doing, but it's an unusual thing. So that's a little bit I know about aquanauts, but this Miss Watkins is a very exceptional person, and we wish her all the luck in the world.
Yes, we do. That brings me to a Wingman PSA. A Wingman PSA. Patience, tolerance, and forgiveness are the virtues that set you free. Patience, tolerance, and forgiveness are the virtues that set you free. This is a Wingman PSA. Dr. Paul, you're the man, and she is a hell of a wingman.
Yes. Be great if we could talk to her sometime, maybe from space. Maybe she'll call in.
Let's pray for peace.
Pray for peace.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men and women.